Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into what is absolutely the most urgent, foundational challenge of our time. How on earth do we build a resilient food system to feed the future? We are literally standing at a critical crossroads here, so let's get right into it. Okay, here's our quick roadmap. We're going to cover 1. The impending food crisis. 2. Climate-smart agriculture explained. 3. Rethinking water and soil. 4. High-tech resilient farming. 5. Fixing the food system. And finally, 6. The future of farming. Let's dive in. Section 1. The impending food crisis. So, the defining pressure point of the entire 21st century comes down to this one massive number, 10 billion. That's our projected global population by the year 2050. But, here's the massive paradox we're facing. Right when demand is absolutely skyrocketing, things like climate change and water scarcity are actively shrinking our crop yields. So, we're kind of being squeezed from both sides. And this triggers a terrifying domino effect. Think of it like a chain reaction. It starts with climate shifts, extreme heat, severe droughts, and unexpected floods. Well, that directly causes massive crop failures. Less crop means immediate food shortages, which violently drive up market prices. And ultimately, that results in widespread global hunger. It's a straight, highly predictable line from rising global temperatures directly to human suffering. Section 2. Climate-smart agriculture explained. Now, there's a stark contrast between our vulnerable, traditional methods and the really stable promise of climate-smart farming. The traditional model, honestly, it wastes a ton of water, overuses chemical fertilizers, and suffers these wild, unpredictable yield fluctuations. But with the climate-smart model, water use is highly targeted, fertilizers are perfectly optimized, and yields actually remain remarkably stable even when facing harsh climate pressures. It's a total game changer. This entire new paradigm rests on 3 core pillars that you absolutely need to remember. First up, productivity. We simply must grow more food, period. Second, adaptation. We have to farm in a way that adapts to a harsher, constantly changing climate. And third, mitigation. Agriculture has got to reduce its own emissions so it stops contributing to the very problem it's trying so hard to survive. Section 3. Rethinking water and soil. Agriculture completely dominates our fresh water supply. It consumes a staggering 70% globally. Really think about that for a second. Only 30% is left for literally everything else humanity does. This makes managing water on the farm both our absolute biggest hurdle and, honestly, our greatest opportunity for massive impact. By implementing smart systems, we completely change how water behaves. Instead of just spraying it everywhere and losing so much to runoff, we harvest the rain, store it securely, and then deploy this hyper-targeted drip irrigation. We're talking about smart sensors tracking moisture right through the soil and the crop itself, enabling water reuse and creating this brilliant closed-loop flow where every single precious drop is maximized. Section 4. High-tech resilient farming. Farmers today are essentially becoming data scientists. They've basically traded the old Farmer's Almanac for an absolute arsenal of high-tech tools. We're talking AI for crop monitoring, drones flying over fields to spot early distress, and satellite data beaming down real-time planetary metrics. They gather, analyze, and act with laser precision, practically guaranteeing better yields purely through data. And it's not just the tools getting smarter, it's the actual seeds themselves. Pairing this incredible tech with resilient crops gives us plants specifically engineered to survive. So hybrids offer significantly higher yields. Organic practices help maintain long-term soil health. And genetically modified crops, well, they can be tailor-made to be climate resistant, surviving extreme heat and massive floods. Section 5. Fixing the food system. Now, here is a frankly devastating reality. Up to 40% of all global food produced is simply wasted. 40%. We pour massive amounts of water, cutting-edge tech, and sheer human labor into growing this food, only to lose almost half of it before it ever nourishes a single human being. It's wild. If we map the food system out chronologically, we can pinpoint exactly where this massive loss occurs. It's basically a gauntlet. First, climate risks destroy crops right there on the farm. Then, massive spoilage happens during transport and distribution. And finally, sheer waste accumulates at the retail and consumer levels. Fixing this whole mess requires far better logistics and storage at every single link in the chain. Plugging those supply chain leaks is exactly how we achieve true food security. And precision really matters here. Food security means everyone has enough safe food at all times. It relies on a 4-pillar foundation: the physical availability of the food, the economic access to buy it, the proper utilization of its nutrients, and the long-term stability of the entire system.
Section 6. The future of farming.
So, what will a typical farm actually look like when we need to feed those 10 billion people? If traditional land is exhausted and the climate is entirely unpredictable, well, the classic image of the big red barn and the plow, it simply won't cut it anymore.
The agriculture of tomorrow moves upwards and indoors. We're looking at explosive growth in vertical farming, which literally brings crop production directly into the hearts of our biggest cities. We'll rely on water-saving hydroponics that bypass degraded soil entirely, all tied together by artificial intelligence managing the exact microclimate for every individual plant. And, this crisis is also driving immense business opportunity. The transition to a climate-smart model requires entirely new industries. We are seeing tremendous potential for agri-tech startups building those AI tools, massive investments in sensor-driven smart irrigation systems, and a complete logistics boom dedicated to totally eradicating that 40% supply chain waste.
Which brings us to the master cycle. This is our actual blueprint for survival. We take the harsh realities of the climate and we collect data. That data feeds directly into smart farming practices. Those precise practices guarantee a better yield. Better yields, when managed properly, create sustainability. And that sustainability finally delivers our ultimate goal, actual global food security. I'll leave you with this final, crucial equation. Technology alone is not going to save us. But if we can seamlessly combine cutting-edge tech, forward-thinking policies, and the irreplaceable, incredible intuition of our farmers, we actually have a shot. The roadmap is totally clear. So the only question left is, do we actually have the global willpower to completely reinvent how we eat before time runs out? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.